Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Green Talk, and I'm your host Nowsheen Khurram. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Professor Anthony Wexler. Mr. Wexler is a distinguished professor at University of California, Davis. He is also a founder and director of the Air Quality Research Center, as well as the founder of the Climate Adaptation Research Center at UC Davis. In today's conversation, we are going to discuss why this conference matters and what are the realistic roadmap for clean energy transition in Pakistan, and most importantly, why data sit at the heart of any planning related to climate change and clean air. So welcome Professor Anthony Wexler with us. Welcome Professor Saab, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. We are very honored to have you here today. And before that we start our discussion, we just want to know one of the fundamental questions when we talk about the air quality. What are the key challenges to address air pollution in Pakistan?
Wow, so there's so many challenges. I think the most important one to start with is public awareness, that people need to know how bad the air pollution is for their health, so that they pressure their legislators to do something about it. And they vote for people who have environment on their agenda. Some of that is just through education. Air pollution is killing people in this country and sending many people to the hospital, shortening lives. So that has to be publicly known so that people start paying more attention to that and caring about that. One way to help with that is the low-cost sensors, which are part of this conference. They're pretty inexpensive, and so people can buy them for their own use. The regulatory sensors cost in US dollars $20,000, $50,000. It's not something people are going to buy, but in US dollars, the low-cost sensors cost $200 or $300. So you could buy that, you could put it outside your house, you could see what the air quality is like, and then you can change your behavior. You could turn a filter on inside your house. You could not exercise as much if the air quality is bad. So there are things you can do for yourself and for your family if you have the information.
Very true. But in the culture, like in the Pakistani society, once the peoples are not very much aware about their health consequences, especially when we talk about the climate is one of the key, factor in their health issues. But you mostly talk in the conference about data. So one of the other challenge we can say that we have a very less data in Pakistan available publicly. So why data is important for any policies related to climate change or air quality initiatives?
Right, good. So data is always important because then you can make rational decisions. You need to make policy decisions, you need to know where to invest resources, and by having data, then that helps you guide the resources. So for example, one thing that my center does for the whole United States, the whole country, is we measure, so PM 2.5 is the part of air pollution that kills people, and mostly from heart attack, called PM 2.5. In my center, we measure the chemical composition of PM 2.5 for the whole country, the whole United States. So, and why does the government of the United States contract with us to do this? Because they need that information to know which sources are responsible for the air pollution, so they know which sources to control more.
True.
To put emission control, to say, oh, you're emitting too much. This industry is emitting too much. Cars, trucks, power plants, industrial facilities. By measuring the chemical composition, you can do what's called source apportionment, which says, okay, 10% of this PM 2.5 is from cars, and 15% is from trucks, and whatever, in this area. And then okay, if I know what is responsible, then if I'm going to do some emission control to improve the air quality, I know where to put my resources. If something is already very clean, if for instance cars are already cleaned up and they're not contributing very much, putting more restriction on them isn't going to change anything.
True. Very true. Okay, well, previous few years we have seen once the surge in air quality, bad air quality like smoke. It's a seasonal now phenomenon in Pakistan, and these days it's on its peak. Have you seen any initiatives taken by the state or the government? We have seen few in Punjab and a few of the other provinces of Pakistan. You have seen any concrete initiatives taken by the government?
I have not, but I've only been here for a few days and I don't know all of everything that's going on. But it's kind of obvious to me that if the air quality is this bad, there's a lot that needs to be done that isn't being done. So, some of the sources we know about, we know vehicles in cities, whether they're cars or trucks, very bad, very important for the air quality in the cities. We know about agricultural burning, very important for the cities and for the region. Brick kilns, very, emitting a lot of pollution, and there's more. One thing you asked about also was about climate change. And so there's an intersection of air pollution and climate change, which is fossil fuels. So we're using fossil fuels in cars, we're using fossil fuels in trucks, we're using fossil fuels for making electricity, coal. All of those are emitting greenhouse gases, which make climate change worse, and they're also emitting air pollutants, which make our air quality worse. And so, and in addition to that, the country has to buy fossil fuels from the fossil fuel producers and import them, which hurts the balance of payments for the country, which hurts the country's finances. So by going with green energy, solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, those are local energy sources that you don't have to pay anybody for that. Once you have it, you don't have to pay anybody anymore. So it helps balance of payments, and it's completely clean air from that.
Very true. Okay, Professor Wexler, if we want to know around the globe, so can you example few of the countries who has overcome these type of air pollution challenges? Have you seen any good examples and where Pakistan can learn from them?
Well, I mean, the best example for me is Los Angeles in California, where when I first started working on air pollution, I was living in Los Angeles. I went to the California Institute of Technology for my PhD, and it was disgusting. It was like here. It was really bad. I mean, there are, the university where I got my PhD, Caltech, there are large mountains like here that are very close. And many students would come there and not even know the mountains were there because they couldn't see them.
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
We think that it's only Pakistan.
No, it was there too. And then maybe one day there's wind and it blows the smog away and people are like, oh, there are mountains right here, like just 10 kilometers away.
That's
like, yeah. And now you see those mountains all the time.
So what the initiative you think was the most, workable for these type of situations?
The thing is that there's not one thing you do. There are many things you have to do. So you have to control emissions. And the question is which emissions to control. And that comes back to the source apportionment that I was talking about. If you understand the chemical composition, then that helps point to which sources are responsible. And we already know here in Pakistan that it's cars and trucks. It's Euro 2 standards. They should be Euro 6 or 7 standards. So there's a lot of improvement that can happen. But really, the most important thing, I think, is electrification, right? If we go electric, if we go with green energy sources and we electrify, then instead of having 2-wheel, 3-wheel, 4-wheel, and big trucks emitting air pollution, everything's electric and they're all clean. And then we use electricity from hopefully green sources to charge the batteries in those vehicles. And it's a win-win on climate and on air pollution. So that's one very simple solution. Go electric.
Exactly. Well, if we prioritize three key actions taken by the Pakistan that could mitigate this air pollution issue, so in your opinion, what it could be? One at the policy level, one at the public level, and one at any other level, what you say?
So policy level, um, is there one? It's hard to say one thing because there's so many factors. I think at the policy level, increasing the vehicle standards and increasing the fuel quality standards, removing sulfur from the fuel, which we required in the U.S. but not required here. Big benefit from that because then you have less sulfuric acid in the atmosphere, which makes particles and it irritates your eyes. And yeah. From a public point of view, low-cost sensors. People measure their own air pollution, give them power.
Very true. Well, thank you very much, Professor Wexler, for a very insightful discussion. It's really helpful. And we will definitely want to learn more about the air quality sensors and how we can install it. And next time when we have the discussion, when we are going to be discussed on that, you might have some solution for Pakistan as well. So thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And thank you, listener, for listening our podcast. I hope it really helped you. And if you like our discussion today, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. And for more these type of discussions, episodes, please stay tuned with us. Allah Hafiz. See you next time.